Imam Malik ibn Anas, The Life, Scholarship and Legacy, a Comprehensive Biography. Introduction, The Pillar of Medina's Knowledge, Imam Malik ibn Anas, 93 H100, 79 AH, 700, Jedanaist CE 700, 95 CE, stands as one of the most monumental figures in Islamic intellectual history. As the founder of the Qawda Maliki Madhab, one of the four surviving Sunni schools of jurisprudence, his influence extends across centuries and continents, from the deserts of North Africa to the scholarly circles of Al-Andalus. This biography meticulously reconstructs his life, from his birth in the luminous city of the Prophet, Medina, to his enduring legacy in Islamic law. Unlike a mere chronological account, this narrative delves into the socio-political climate of the early Abbasid era, his methodology of deriving Islamic law, and its theological underpinnings, the aural and written transmission of his magnum opus, Al-Muwatta, his conflicts with political authority, and their implications for Islamic scholarship. Chapter 1. The Early Life of Imam Malik. 1.1 Birth and Lineage. Imam Malik was born in 93 Anno Hijri, 711 Common Era, in Medina, the city of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His full name was Malik ibn Anas ibn Malik ibn Abi Amir al-Asbahi, tracing his ancestry to the Yemeni tribe of Banu Asbah. His grandfather, Malik ibn Abi Amir, was a respected tabi'i, follower of the companions, who narrated hadith from Umar ibn al-Khattab, Aisha, and Abu Huraira. This scholarly lineage shaped Imam Malik's deep reverence for traditional knowledge. 1.2 Medina, the cradle of his education. Growing up in Medina, Imam Malik witnessed the last generation of the Tabi'in, who preserved the living sunnah, not just through hadith narration, but through a communal practice. This concept, later termed Amal Ahl al-Madina, the practice of Medina's people, became a cornerstone of his legal methodology. 1.3 Early Teachers and Mentors. Imam Malik studied under the greatest scholars of his time, including Nafi Mawla ibn Umar, a freed slave of Abdullah ibn Umar and a primary narrator of hadith; Ibn Shihab az-Zuhri, the first systematic compiler of hadith in written form; Ja'far al-Sadiq, a descendant of the Prophet and a key figure in early Islamic theology. His education was not limited to hadith. He also mastered Arabic philology, Quranic exegesis, and early Islamic history. Chapter 2. The Making of a Scholar. 2.1 His methodology in hadith. Imam Malik was extremely rigorous in accepting hadith. Unlike later collectors like Bukhari and Muslim, he prioritized oral transmission from living scholars over written texts, rejecting isolated ahad narrations if they contradicted Medina's practice, scrutinizing the reliability of narrators with unprecedented strictness. 2.2 The development of his legal thought. While Abu Hanifa died, 150 AH in Kufa relied heavily on qiyas and analogical reasoning. Imam Malik's approach was rooted in 1. The Quran and mutawatir hadith, mass-transmitted narrations; 2. The Sunnah as practiced in Medina, even if not fully documented in hadith; 3. Ijma, consensus of Medina's scholars; 4. Qiyas, analogical reasoning, used cautiously when no clear text existed; 5. Maslaha mursala, consideration of public interest, a concept later expanded by later Maliki jurists. Chapter 3. Al-Muwatta, the first hadith compilation. Shakr Nararkam, 3.1 The Origins of Al-Muwatta. Imam Malik compiled Al-Muwatta, the well-trodden path over 40 years, refining it continuously. It is the earliest surviving comprehensive work of hadith and fiqh, a blend of legal rulings, hadith, and Medina's practice. Recognized by Imam Shafi'i as the most authentic book after the Quran. Mi'ajan 3.2 Structure and Content. Unlike later hadith books arranged by topics, e.g. Bukhari's Sahih, Al-Muwatta is structured as a Ghazina legal manual, covering worship, prayer, fasting, zakat, hajj, transactions, sales, marriage, inheritance, judicial rulings, testimony, punishments, wanhas, 3.3 Transmission and variations. Several versions of Al-Muwatta exist due to Imam Malik's continuous revisions. The most famous transmissions are by Yahya ibn Yahya al-Laythi, Andalusian version; Muhammad al-Shaybani, Hanafi scholars' recension. Chapter 4. Imam Malik and Political Power. 4.1. The Abbasid Revolution and its Impact. Imam Malik lived during the transition from Umayyad to Abbasid rule. The Abbasids sought religious legitimacy, pressuring scholars to endorse their policies. 4.2. The Flogging Incident. When Imam Malik issued a fatwa against forced oaths of allegiance to the Caliph al-Mansur, he was publicly flogged. His arm was dislocated. He was imprisoned briefly. Yet he refused to retract his stance, declaring, "Knowledge is not to be taken from rulers, but from scholars." 4.3. Later reconciliation with Harun al-Rashid. Despite earlier tensions, Caliph Harun al-Rashid later respected Imam Malik, requesting Al-Muwatta be copied and distributed across the Muslim world. Tasatanori. Chapter 5. The Maliki School, Spread and Influence. Nabrakan 5.1. Key students who spread his teachings. Abdullah ibn Wahab, Egypt. Abd al-Rahman ibn al-Qasim, North Africa. Imam al-Shafi'i later founded his own madhab. 5.2. Geographical expansion. The Maliki school became dominant in North and West Africa, Morocco, Algeria, Mali, Senegal, Al-Andalus, Islamic Spain, Upper Egypt and Sudan. 5.3. Later developments in Maliki fiqh. The Qayrawani school, Tunisia, codified Maliki rulings further. The Andalusian tradition. Scholars like Ibn Rushd, Averroes, contributed to Maliki thought. Defied, Chapter 6. Death and Eternal Legacy. 6.1. His final years. Imam Malik died in 179 AH, 795 CE. In Medina after a brief illness. He was buried in Jannat al-Baqi. 6.2. His enduring influence. Millions of Muslims today follow the Maliki school. Al-Muwatta remains a primary source of hadith and fiqh. His resistance to political coercion set a precedent for scholarly independence. Conclusion. The living legacy of Imam Malik. Imam Malik was not merely a jurist, but a guardian of prophetic tradition. His life embodied uncompromising adherence to authentic knowledge, courage in the face of political oppression, a balanced, community-rooted approach to Islamic law,